Hello everybody. So now today we are going to take another question, and this question was asked in Facebook interview, right? Facebook interview, and the difficulty level is medium. The question is user by average session time. Let's understand it. It says calculate user's average session time. A session time is defined as the time difference between a page load and page exit. So if you see the data, in data you have three columns: user ID, timestamp, and action. Okay, so in action you would have the values like, let me show you over here. I'll just show it to you. And when you run code, so this is how the action would look like: page load, page scroll up, scroll down, etc. Right? So what you have to do is, what it is saying over here is, a session is defined as the time difference between page load and page exit. So in action you would have page load and page exit. So difference between those two time is the session time. Okay, for simplicity, assume a user has only one session per day, and if there are multiple of the same events on that day, consider only the latest page load and earliest page exit. All right, then output the user ID and their average session time. So let's see what sort of output is expected. So here you can click, and here you can see this is how they are expecting the output. Okay, so let's just start with this. To help you understand it better, what I'm going to do is, first I'll take this data, take the whole data. Okay, so when you run this, run code, and here it is showing a tab, view the output in separate browser, right? So here it will give me all the output data. What I'll do is, I'll select this all, I'll go in Excel and paste a special. Right, so now here I have the data. I'll help you understand the question in more detail. So for that, first I would sort the data to, I'll be sorting the data on two levels. One is user ID, then timestamp, and now the data is sorted. Now it says that we have to find the difference between page load and page exit. So there is no point of keeping this scroll down, scroll up, etc. over here, right? So I would remove all of them except page load. All of the rest value I would just remove. Okay, now it looks simple for you. Now it says the difference, if there are multiple page load and multiple page exit, then it is saying take the latest page load and earliest page exit. So if you see, for user ID 0, the page load, the latest, there are two continuous page load, so we have to pick the latest one. Now here you might see only hours and minute. If you want to see this in full seconds, so here I'll just change the timestamp value. Right, now you can see there are two consecutive page loads, so there is no point of keeping this one, right? So we'll just ignore that. Now we have to find the difference. Earliest page exit is this, right? So we need to find the difference between these two and then these two for the user ID 0. Same goes for user ID 1. We need to find the difference between these two and these two, right? Load and exit. For user ID 2, there is no page exit, so this will be excluded. So this is as simple as that, right? So you just need to find the difference. How can you find the difference? So to find the difference, if somehow you have to get the difference between exit and load. So exit is the maximum time. If somehow if you can get this value next to this, then what you can do is, you can simply take this minus this, right? And this is how you get the difference, right? And then again you will get the difference over here for this value, and then you take the average by this user ID. I just hope that the statement is clear to you, problem statement is clear to you. Now let's go to the pandas and try to understand this. So to help you understand this in pandas, what I will do is, I'll directly import the data over here first. So first let's just say import pandas as pd. So first job is to simplify the data, right? So let's just first import the data. So here we got the data. Now what you saw is, in Excel, first we remove all those actions which we don't require, right? So for that, what I'm going to say is fb equals to fb.query and into that you can write the query like SQL. Okay, you can say query action in page load and page exit. Page load, these are the two values that you are looking for, right? And you can say page exit, and let's just see how the data looks like. Wow, we got it over here, right? Now the next job is creating two columns. Over here I will create one column for page exit and one column for page load, and into that I'll populate the page exit and page load timestamp. So let's just create that. Here I'm just going to create page exit, and for that what I'll do is I will use fb.apply. I'm going to create a function over here, and for that I will use lambda, right? Lambda x. So if you want to understand about lambda, I will drop the link for a specific video. Just check that out. That talks all about apply and lambda. Okay, now here I would say what is the value that I want to populate in this page exit. So now entire data frame is defined as x, right? Now in this page exit I want to populate the value of timestamp, right? This timestamp value will come into the page exit. A new column will be added, and into the value from timestamp will be populated, but that has to be on a condition. So let's write the true condition. So if x action equals to page exit, then I'm simply saying if action equals to page exit, then populate the timestamp value into page exit column. I'm creating a new column, and into that I'll populate this. If not so, then populate none, and this has to be done by column. Okay, let's just see the value. Oops. Okay, here we got, right? Now you see page exit values are populated. Same thing we need to do for page load. So let's say it page load, and just come back over here and let's just see this. Okay, now you got it for page load as well. Now the next problem statement is we need to subtract this page load value from page exit, but what you see, wherever we have page exit value there is no page load, wherever we have page load there is no page exit. So how to manage this? It's very simple. What you can do is you just do the fill NA in page load. Let's just try to do that. So here what I will do is, let's call it page load dot fill NA. It's fill NA, and here I would say method equals to forward fill. Let's just see how does it looks like. Okay, so here is how it looks like, but we will have to put it in a different column. So for that I'm going to create another column, and into that I would say page load new. I'm going to say page load new, and then let's just print this. Bravo, we got this, right? Now the next job is to simplify the data. I will drop all the NA values which exist in page exit, right? So I would say drop NA, subset equals to column name. I want to use page exit. So wherever NA value exists into this data, I will just remove that. Bravo, we just got that. Okay, now the next thing is we require to have we just require how many columns? We just require user ID, page exit, and page load n. Then we will find the difference and we'll take the average, right? So that's what I'm going to do next. Let me just see over here how does this. Oops, here it shows the all data. FP, let me just see, and here if I print this, good, this looks good. Okay, All right. So now the next thing is we need to keep only required columns, right? So that's what I'm going to do. I'll keep user ID, then I will keep page exit, and then I'm going to keep page load and I'm going to store this into fp, and let's just see. Bravo, we just got it. Now the next thing is finding the difference between these two. So for that I'm going to create another column. Let's call it second difference, which means I'm trying to find the difference in seconds. So what I have to do is page exit minus page load, right? That is it. So let's say fp, here I'm going to say page exit minus fb page load and let's put them all into a bracket and say dt dot total underscore seconds. Okay, now let's print fp. Got it, we got that, right? Seconds. So you see a difference between these two dates, date and time. I'm finding that into seconds. Now I have to find the average of these two, right? So for that I'm going to say fb dot pivot table. I'll just create pivot table, and into that I would say index equals to user id, and for value on which column we want to perform the aggregation. So we want to perform aggregation on this second difference, right? So that's what I'm going to say. Let's just see why it's taking longer. Let's say fp dot pivot table, and into that index equals to user id, then here it should take values. I'm sure why it's not auto completing it. Let's call it values equals to sec difference, and then aggregative function I want to use mean. Bravo, we just got this, right? So for user id 0, the second difference is 183.5. For user id 1, it is 35.0. Now let's just check our answer. All right, so this is, here it says for 0, this was the answer which was expected. So we are done, we just solved this, right? So I just hope that it was clear to you. Just in case of any doubt, feel free to put your doubt into the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you out. Thank you once again for watching the video. Give a thumbs up if you like it, share with your friend so that it will help to them also, and subscribe it so that it will motivate us. Thanks once again.